Good evening. Throughout this week, we've looked across the journey of my recovery from a spinal cord injury, from the devastation of the surgery to the successes in rehab. And tonight, we bring you the conclusion of the road to recovery. As I said my goodbyes to family, friends, and all of the people I had met on my journey, I had one last thing that needed to be taken care of. Making sure the wheelchair that was made for me will go to someone who was going to need it.
As you always are, you're always thinking of the next person and how you can help them.
This led my family back to North Georgia, just outside of the Atlanta area, where we met a great resource. Friends of disabled adults and children preparing to donate a barely used new wheelchair to someone who would need it far more than me.
Those are very expensive wheelchairs. They're not just $100, $200, they're thousands of dollars. And so they wear out as well. And so that's another battle people have with Medicare, Medicaid, or other benefits.
And sure enough, following the donation,
after nearly 2 years, CBS 44 welcomes back reporter Brian Roche. He was on Lake Blackshear this morning.
I was back at the station where I was a mainstay of the news staff. And that brings us to today, as I continue to try and push myself harder to further my recovery on my own again. But with the long, painful road of recovery now in my rearview mirror, I can't help but think back over the course of those 18 months.
You've always said from day one, I'm going back to work. I don't care what it takes. I know the timeline was different than what you had anticipated, but we're just so proud of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we knew you could do it.
Yeah.
We saw kind of where you were, the strength you had. We saw the great support that you had around you, and we knew that you were going to keep working hard. Because when you're determined, you're going to keep going, until you reach that goal.
You want the patients, all the patients, to have that energy, that will to keep going uphill until they finally plateau and start enjoying the results. So you are an inspiration for multiple of my patients.
And I've been doing this for 26 years at this organization. There's very few people I've ever heard of. No one's ever come here and had that story, but you never see people go completely with a spinal cord injury from a power chair to walking completely.
We both want the best for you, and that helps just kind of allow for that connection to really push and motivate one another. Me to motivate you to try and push yourself, and you to motivate me to try and find ways to really challenge you.
But not just the people who've helped me through this most difficult time of my life, but what we believe can be done to help give just a little hope to those suffering from a spinal cord injury.
I think hope and prayer is what gets you through it. You have to have hope. You have to believe that things are going to be okay.
Set small goals for yourself that kind of lead up to the bigger goals, but it's important to have those check marks in place so you can really measure your progress and see, hey, I am getting better from 2 months ago.
Never give up. We never know. There's a thing you'll be told a timeline, but we never know that timeline. And just keep up with your health.
Yes, it's very physically taxing, mentally taxing, emotionally taxing, but at the end of it, seeing the progress of the patients or clients of those who have suffered any neurological injury or spinal cord injury outweighs your hard days. It makes it all worth it.
You can get stronger. You can improve your quality of life through intense activity, sessions, and it just helps everything. It helps your brain, it helps your body, and just don't give up.
I would just want them to know that they're not alone. There's people who have been in their shoes before, and that there's options out there for them to regain and just regain their life back and get back to the life that they had prior to injury.
As my mother used to say, it's not what you go through, it's how you come out of it that matters. And that's what we kept focusing in on, was the prize at the end.
I have far too many people whom I've met along this journey to thank for being a part of it, from doctors and nurses to the therapists and specialists to the others dealing with spinal cord injuries whose stories I heard throughout my own journey. I want to thank everyone at Marquee Broadcasting Broadcasting for allowing me the forum to tell my story. But I want to thank all of you for allowing me to share that story this past week and give insight into a condition that has seldom been talked about. Thank you.